Like him or not, Elon Musk is one of the most productive people on the planet. And unlike Elon, many of us waste countless hours every week by not being productive and not focusing on the things that are really going to drive impact and bring value to our business. There are 3 really useful techniques that I found help me be more productive and also my clients. The first and perhaps most important one is setting your goals in the first place. Also a 90-day plan, so you're very clear what are my key goals for this quarter and what are the things that are really going to move my business forward. The second really useful technique is find a way of prioritizing all the tasks that are going to come across your desk, all the things that could randomize you and suck up time. Something like the Eisenhower matrix is a great way of prioritizing tasks, including finding things that you can delegate to your team, finding you more time to focus on the things that are important. And the third one is something called time blocking or the default diary. And this is where Elon comes back in, because this is something that he uses that is super effective to get more productive use out of your current day. So what exactly is it? Well, the default diary or time blocking is very simply a structured approach, blocking out time in your calendar to the activities that matter to you most. So instead of starting each week with just an empty schedule, you start the week with a structured approach to your diary by pre-allocating blocks of time to key activities. It prevents prevarication, time wasting, or constantly asking yourself, what really should I be working on now? And the default diary really has 2 primary benefits. The first one, and probably the most important, is it ring fences and protects your priority time required for the strategic items that are really going to make a long-term difference to your business. Secondly, it reduces context switching, which is a really inefficient way of working. By grouping sets of activities into a block of time, you're much more efficient with both your focus and your efficiency. That's super important, especially in today's world where it's so easy to get distracted. So here, for example, is a default diary that's pretty close to the one that I set up and use myself. Firstly, I block out recurring tasks that I know I'm going to need to do every day. So for example, I do fitness first thing in the morning, and I try to learn by reading books or listening to podcasts at the end of the day. So I schedule those in first. Email is, of course, one of the biggest distractions in our working lives. And to minimize its impact, I set up 2 blocks, morning and afternoon, in fact, late afternoon, where I just do email in those blocks and at no other time. The next really important thing I do is work out where am I going to schedule the really big blocks of time to focus on the important but not urgent tasks. And these are things like strategy, planning, strategic customer relationships. And once I've got all those locked in, then I just schedule in all of the still quite important, but smaller recurring tasks every day. So at any particular moment or any day during the week, I know exactly what I should be working on when. You may have heard of something called Parkinson's Law, which simply put is the task expands to the amount of time allocated to it. So you might say, Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to spend writing email. And instead of allocating a vague amount of time to it, allocate it to a 45-minute block and get it done within that time block more quickly with more focus. This is, by the way, also why we tend to be our most productive the day before we go on holiday. Personally, I've used this to completely change the way that I operate, and I've moved from very unstructured, reactive way of working to a structured plan for the week, which has really improved both my level of output and my ability to focus on those items that are really going to drive my business forward. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you found that time blocking works? Have you got any other time management tips? If you do, please share them in the comments. I'd really love to hear from you.